Hi and welcome to the video on Cort, Computerised Objections and Requisitions on title. Cort contains the Law Society's Objections and Requisitions on title 2015 edition. On opening Cort, you'll be presented with this screen with all panels grey indicating no sets are open. On the top panel to the right here we are seeing all of the options we have within Cort. So let's dive straight in and create a new set. Click on New, and straight away everything turns white, indicating we now have a set open and can start working on it. So on the top left hand panel here is a list of all the categories that can be in a set. So one of the first things you would do is go down and choose those categories you want included or excluded. You'll notice the first few: premises, services, are marked as in, and forestry is out, and if you click on it you'll see it's grey. If you want forestry in, double click on it. Double click on it to take it out. Same with any of those that are marked as out. So you can scroll down through it and see what categories you want to include or exclude. It will already have a number of them marked as out because they would be, generally speaking, the default categories that would be in or out of a set. At the moment we have objections and replies highlighted, so that is what we would be editing here. When we move to premises, you will see the actual requisition itself, and in the left hand panel the subsections of that category. You can't edit this text. This is copyright, Law Society copyright text, so you can't edit it, but there are one or two places within the system where you are allowed to edit on the left hand side, and our first example of that is objections and replies, where you can type in here and on the right hand side. We can move forward then to premises and start typing in our replies. Furnish now the agreement on a closing proof payment will say furnished herewith, and we can move to the next subsection. Which of the boundary walls belong to the property and which are party? All party. In relation to boundaries, furnish now any agreements as to repair. I'm saying none. Are there any disputes? You'll notice I am moving the mouse to move through the subsections, or the subcategories. It's a lot quicker if we move through the categories using the keyboard. And let me show you how that operates. If we're on category or subsection 1.1, if we use the function key F7 on your keyboard, and you'll notice the tip here, F7 for next subsection, Shift F7 for previous. So we hit F7, it jumps to the next subsection. Keep hitting F7, we're jumping down through the subsections. Or we can use Shift F7 to move backwards through them. I'm just moving on now here. Let's say we'll fill in a reply. Are there any disputes with any adjoining owners? We'd say no, F7, and we jump forward. Is the property registered? We'd say no, F7. If so, and if still in force, it's not applicable, and F7. Is the property serviced with drainage? Yes. If so, please state, we'll say names. If by septic tank, furnish evidence of registration, not applicable. If other, furnish details, not applicable. Now you'll notice that we are typing in the same thing quite a few times here, not applicable, not applicable. Cort provides you with a facility to do that an awful lot handier, and that's what we call phrases. If I click on phrases, it brings up the standard phrases panel, and this is a list of typical standard phrases you would use a lot as you were replying to requisitions. There are some already completed, as you will see, but there are others there is nothing in, and you can actually edit those and put in whatever you want for those standard phrases. So how do you use the standard phrases? Well, one method is to double click and it will bring it in. Or you could use the combination of the Alt key and the letter or number. So for instance, we could say Alt and W. It automatically brings that in. Or Alt and U. Alt U, you can see how the Alt key combination operates. But that in combination with the F7 is very useful and handy for quickly completing requisitions. I'm going to hit F7 now. Electricity, yes. F7, and I move on to the next section. Telephone, yes. Gas, not required. Have the services that are putting have they been taken over by the local authority? We say no. F7. Furnish letter from the local authority or vendor specifically based on the inspection of that, certifying that position. We'd say furnished herewith. 7. If the services are not in charge furnishing an indemnity, well, that's not applicable. F7. If an indemnity has been given to the vendor or his predecessor, not applicable. And F7. Are there any pipes, drains? Say no. So you can see how quick it is to move through using the combination of F7 to jump through the subsections and the standard phrases. Let's assume we have gone through the entire set, filled in all the relevant replies, and now we want to save the set. So click on Save. One of the first screens that will come up before the Save screen is this reminder to complete the client and property details. So we can put in the reference, say OR002 as an example, and we would fill in the rest of those details. Save client, and then the save screen comes up. Now this is where you will put in the name for the set, and you should use a name that makes it easy to find again. For example, something like that. The file reference, the client name, and part of the property address. And the file reference will say anymore. And save. That file reference already exists. So obviously in our testing I've previously done, I've used that. So let's change it back to 3. Okay. Okay, we've now saved our set. So we will see when we click on the Open button a list of all the sets already completed, and the one that we've just done, which was this one here, the John Murphy, and we can open that again, and we can go back through that set and amend or make any adjustments or amendments that we want to make, and save the set again. Now you'll notice this screen pops up because it's a reminder to fill in those details. Those details, some of those details will be used for completing some of the Cort documents, which we'll hit on later on. Now we save the set. Now once the set is saved, you want to print it. So let's do that. We'll select I'm going to select a different one where I have more detail in on it for demonstration purposes. So I'll select the Joe Blogs one. Click on Open, and it opens up the print screen, which has two options: generate the PDF or print directly to printer. This you rarely need to use at all, because once you produce a PDF, you can print from the PDF, or you can email that PDF, and it's a file that you can copy into your case management system or copy to any other folder on your system where you hold documents related to this client and case. So let's go ahead and generate the PDF. You'll see the PDF screen opening up with a number of options on it. Let's open the PDF. And that's our completed set of requisitions. I'll just move it into the view. As I'm scrolling through it there, just notice these categories that have been excluded, and it has a note stating it has been included and not applicable over on the right hand side. That's the actual PDF itself. You can show the PDF in Explorer, which is Windows. I'll just pull that into the view. And it's a PDF now that you can email. You can open up an email in Outlook or whatever mail client you have and drop that onto the email and send it to the other party. You could also save that. You can copy it and save it into another folder where perhaps you have other documents related to this client and case. If Cort links with your version of Outlook, if you click on this button, it will automatically open up the email for you with the document attached. This may not work in some situations, just depending on the security settings and the options within Outlook, but you have plenty of other options for actually emailing it. So, what have we done? We've created a set of requisitions and we've been able to produce a PDF, and I've shown you how the phrases operate. The license button will show you what your license registration details are, the number of users and the expiry date. To renew your license, you would go online and pay online. So this gives you an option here to go directly to the Cort site and renew your license. Instructions and details are on the website. The main purpose for Cort is, of course, to handle the requisitions on title, but it also does a few other things, and that's within Cort documents. So this contains a block of templates that are all related to that set of requisitions we just created. So let me just click on Cort Documents, select the set, we'll select any set. I'm going to choose the Joe Blog set because I have filled in details there on the property details. Okay, one of the first screens that comes up will ask you for further information that's required to fill out those documents. So we'll select the family law declaration we require, and this gives us a list of the 25 standard family law declarations. We'll choose, say, family law declaration, husband and wife is family home, and it's looking for date of marriage or civil partnership, CP. Depending on which family law declaration you choose, you may be asked other questions in here, like for instance, surviving spouse. You'll now need the late spouse or civil partner or cohabitant and date of death. Let's go back to our original. You'll fill in here details of the local authority for the services in charge letter. It may be the same for the water reference charges, but it could be different. It's within Fingal County Council. Because it's usually the same, it automatically puts in the same local authority for the second letter, but you can change that if you want. Now you can put in a new one in here, and that will automatically be saved, so the next time you come to this screen, you click the drop down, the new one will appear in here. Rating authority we can select again from our drop down, but often it's the same as the local authority, and you can just click on equals LA here, which will put in the local authority name and address. Lending institution, again just select from the drop down and put in the lending institution account reference. URF for the lending institution, so what they would use. Lease date, if we're going to choose a rent declaration, and deceased if that's applicable, and the revenue commissioners for if capital gains tax, if we're going to be producing the CG50 form. So let's go with that and move to the court documents. So what we're seeing now is a list of all of the templates that are available for you to generate. And we could say select the ones we want, letter and the QED form to the lending institution, and we'll choose the contract, general conditions, and the MUDS Act if we're doing them pre-contract. MUDS Act requisitions are contained within the 2015 version of Requisitions on Title, but you're given an option in here to deal with them pre-contract. So these are the pre-contract inquiries, which are identical to those in the requisitions. It just depends on whether you're dealing with them at that stage or pre-contract. So once you've chosen the ones you want, click on Documents, and you'll see the progress as they are being generated. That's taking the information, the additional information you gave in previous screens, and merging that into the letters to produce a finished letter ready for issue. So these are the generated documents it has created. If we edit one of those, we'll have a look. You'll see it has brought in the RF, the county council name and address, and it has filled in the complete letter ready for you to print off and issue. We can print all of the documents in one go. You'll notice over here it has a tick box against those we want to print. So if we go to print documents, it's going to print the ones we have ticked. On this side, you'll notice there's a tick for whether it's headed stationery or blank stationery that's required. So you'll notice the letters themselves would be ones that require headed stationery. When you go to the print docs, it gives you an option to print all the selected docs or just print those that require headed stationery. So we could tick that and print, and it will just print to headed stationery. This gives you the facility to go load your printer with headed stationery, print those ones, then load your printer with blank stationery and print those as one block. You also have an option here to show docs folder. So what that will do is show you the documents in Windows, and you can copy them and move them onto the case or the client folder that you have, or drag them onto your case management system. These are just standard Word documents, so you can edit them either in that documents folder, or we can edit them from here by selecting one and clicking edit. And it's just a standard Word document that we can edit if we want any changes on it. If we decide we want more documents that there are some we've forgotten to select, we can go back to our templates. And you will see in red the ones that we have already produced, and we can tick other ones that we want and produce the documents. We have a separate video on Cort documents itself that goes into a little more detail and explains how to edit templates and that. But for now, this is just a quick intro to show you what it does and how it does it. Close down that. And we are now finished, and exit, and we are finished. That concludes our demonstration on Cort. Don't forget to check out our website, cortsite.com, to see the other products by the Cort team. Cort-based case management, Cort-based legal accounts, and of course, Requisitions on title.